Welcome everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. Some are indulging in outright eulogizing, while others, including the family, are demanding a free and fair probe into his death. We are talking about none other than notorious Don Mukhtar Ansari, once the terror of Purvanchal in Uttar Pradesh. His death due to cardiac arrest happened while in judicial custody. So naturally there will be a probe. But the fact that this has happened days after Ansari's family had already raised concerns over slow poisoning of him in jail has added another level of politics to it. Now, opposition parties like SP, AIMIM haven't lost the opportunity to raise a stink over what is now referred to as Yogi Raj in Uttar Pradesh. OVC, for example, has alleged that UP is run by the gun, not by rule of law. Yogi Adityanath, the tough image chief minister, on the other hand, made a rather interesting statement drawing the comparison between previous governments and his. He said, if it goes to the wrong hands, one vote gets you a curfew, and the same vote in the right hands can get Kavad Yatra and Ram Mandir. Now, there's no denying his biggest calling card is law and order improvement in the state, but does that image take a beating rightfully when an Atik is murdered in police custody or an Ansari dies in jail? Or is there, as has been the case in the past, needless politics over Ansari's death, especially because of religious lines as well? We'll take that question to our guests in just a bit. First up, the death of Mukhtar Ansari has to be looked at a prism of two families. One is his own, that is of course crying foul today, and the other is of the man he had killed and was convicted for. Former BJP MLA Krishnanand Rai, who was killed in 2005 by Mukhtar Ansari, his family visited a temple today. They said this was a blessing of the Almighty that Mukhtar Ansari is no more. On the other hand, Ansari's family is alleging that he was poisoned inside the Banda jail. It truly is a tale of two families. Of course, one was supremely powerful at one time in UP, and of course it's come crashing down. The other feels that it's finally closure and some sense of justice, true justice for them today. Now, Krishnanand Rai's family reiterated that Ansari was no saint, that the former MLA's murder was not only a crime he was accused, not the only crime he was accused of, while the deceased gangster's family demanded that autopsy should be conducted by AIIMS, not the way that it is being ordered from Banda itself. The Rai's family feels that justice has finally been served, but of course Ansari's family feels that a judicial inquiry is required into this probe. An inquiry has indeed been ordered as far as the death is concerned. Now, Ansari's post-mortem examination was conducted. His body today has been handed over to his family members to be taken to Ghazipur, where he will be laid to rest. Mukhtar Ansari's family has been raising doubts on his safety in jail for the last 10 days or so. So let me just give you a chronology of how it has all transpired and why suddenly his death is now raising a stink. Because from March 19th itself, the Sun has been alleging that poison is being given to Ansari in jail. The next day, Ansari's lawyers also made the claims of poisoning. By March 25, Ansari's condition turned bad, and the next day, he complained of abdominal pain. He was rushed to Banda hospital, and doctors on the day said that it was nothing serious and he was sent back to prison. Now, what happens the next day? Ansari's family again alleges that there is a conspiracy to kill Mukhtar Ansari, and by March 28, he turned unconscious. He was rushed to the hospital but was eventually declared dead, and dead due to a cardiac arrest when he arrived at the hospital. Taking from the allegations of the Ansari clan, opposition leaders were also quick to blame the Yogi government for not ensuring the former Don's safety in jail. Here's what some of them have said. They've said, for example, that UP is going through the worst phase of government anarchy. This is from Akhilesh Yadav, former UP Chief Minister and SP Chief himself. There is a need for independent probe into the slow poisoning charge, is what Asaduddin Owaisi has said. I've also mentioned what he has said earlier. Ansari family's persistent charges must be probed. This is what Mayamati, the BSP chief, has said. Remember, out of the 5 times that Ansari won from Mao as an MLA, twice it was on a BSP ticket. While casting doubts on the conduct of the police and administration is one thing, some of the comments that have come since the death of Ansari are bordering on praise. And this has also happened in the past. We've seen examples of this where notorious gangsters who did unthinkable crimes have been somehow eulogized because a halo has been created around them. Some Robin Hood-esque image has been created as well. Similar comments, for example, were made when Atiq Ahmed was killed on his way to a court-mandated medical checkup in April last year. Let me just draw a comparison for you very quickly. When Atiq was killed, Congress's Imran Pratapgarhi's video praising him had surfaced. And in that video, he had said, there is no one with Atiq Ahmed's stature anymore and won't be for centuries. Today, Asaduddin Owaisi, for example, posted on social media for Ansari that with his death, Ghazipur has lost their favourite son and brother. What are the kind of people and politicians are we eulogizing and creating an image for and idolation for not just the public but a particular community as well? Ram Gopal Yadav of the Samajwadi Party had said back then that criminals do not win elections the way Atiq Ahmed used to, recounting how many times he contested and won, almost making a larger-than-life figure. Criminals and gangsters don't win elections like this, he had said. Today, Tejasvi Yadav said it was sad that a former UP MLA had died. Asaduddin Owaisi had questioned even then Uttar Pradesh police after Atiq's murder, going on to say that those celebrating the murder are actually vultures. Today, as politics peaked over Ansari's death, Bhim Army Chief Chandrasekhar Azad paid humble tributes to the untimely death of Mukhtar Ansari. Of course, it is everybody's right to condole somebody's death, and there should be no happiness over anybody's death ideally. But is it right to eulogize people who've committed grave crimes against innocent people and for continuous periods of time? But let's also shine a light on what the Yogi government's track record has been, not just in the case of Atiq and Ansari. There have been some other cases, particularly encounters of dreaded gangsters and others, where the Yogi government or the police's conduct has been in the dock. So let me just point out a few of those cases and what has really happened as far as those investigations is concerned. You would remember the case of Vikas Dubey, also a notorious gangster. He was killed in what was called retaliatory firing while attempting to escape police custody on 10th June 2020. He faced as many as 60 criminal cases, including 8 murder cases, certainly not a role model for society. Following his death, an inquiry was led by a retired Supreme Court judge that found no evidence of wrongdoing by the UP cops. Gangster-turned-neta Atiq Ahmed and his brother Ashraf, as I mentioned, were killed in a sensational on-camera shooting in April last year in Prayagraj. They faced over close to 100 cases, including BSP legislator Raju Pal's murder. A 3-member case, we are awaiting, of course, the final verdict. In 2018, there is also another case of Munna Bajrangi, killed by another gangster in Baghpat jail. And this slain gangster was facing trial in several cases as well. More than a week before Bajrangi was murdered, his wife had alleged that the police was conspiring to get him eliminated in a fake encounter of sorts. A judicial inquiry was also first ordered. Later in 2020, Allahabad High Court ordered a CBI probe as far as this matter is concerned as well. So not the first time that questions are being raised over death, even of a notorious criminal and gangster, and not the first time an inquiry has been ordered. With that, the question we ask is simply this: is there really a reason to raise these questions or stink over the conduct of the police or the jail authorities in this case? Or is there, as we have seen in the past too, some needless politics going on, possibly with an eye to polarize after Ansari's death?
हमने तो लिख कर दिया है कि दिल्ली एम्स के डॉक्टरों से कराया जाए। हमें यहाँ की चिकित्सा प्रणाली और शासन प्रशासन पर विश्वास नहीं है। आप लोग को सब पता है कि क्यों मैं ऐसा कह रहा हूँ।
बाबा की आशीर्वाद है। आज मैं हमेशा बाबा के दरबार में न्याय के लिए करती थी, आज न्याय मिला है हमको।
मैं ये चाहूँगा कि इसकी एक सही तरीके से इंडिपेंडेंट इंक्वायरी हो।
अगर जेल में किसी की मृत्यु होती है तो उसकी जिम्मेदारी प्रशासनिक अधिकारी जेल से लेकर के सरकार से लेकर सबकी जिम्मेदारी है।
अभी पोस्टमार्टम हो रहा है, जैसी जानकारी टीवी पे चल रही है, जो जानकारी मिल रही है उस पर भी वो भी साफ हो जाएगा।
एक वोट कर्फ्यू भी लगा देता है और एक वोट कांवड़ यात्रा भी निकाल देता है।
Let's go across to our guest joining us. Sanjeev Unyal is a lawyer. Tariq Khan is spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. We will be joined with Bilal Khan, lawyer and political analyst who's questioning the government's conduct in this case. And also Bhanu Pratap Singh, former UP DGP, is joining us. Bhanu Pratap Singh, why don't I start with you? How seriously do you look at Ansari's death while in Banda jail or while in custody? Is that a matter of great concern that legitimately his family is raising, particularly because they had raised concerns over the slow poisoning of the convicted criminal?
Death of any individual, any human being is a sad thing, undoubtedly. But coming specifically to the death of Mukhtar Ansari and the controversy that is being tried to be raised against that in my opinion is surely needless.
Okay.
Because it was in a judicial custody that happened. Anything, any finger to be raised against police department or police setup is not proper. Autopsy is being done. Every procedure of the law is being followed, and inquiry is also being conducted. So let us wait for the facts to come out and then come to some conclusion.
No, because he was in judicial custody, is the charge particularly strange and needless because of that? Because it's not like he was, an ordinary convict in an ordinary jail. He was in judicial custody. Surely the circumstances of a judicial custody are slightly different. Could you, for the benefit of our viewers, tell us why somebody being slow poisoned or killed in any other manner in a judicial custody would be very difficult or unimaginable?
It is because he was kept in an isolation barrack and the complaint against his alleged poisoning had been raised by his family members. The administration was cautious on that. Not only that, when his advocate gave an application in the court regarding this charge, if I remember correctly, the jailer and the two deputy jailers of the Banda jail were suspended also. Only because for giving this reason of presenting an application. Why weren't they cautious? Perhaps. So, and then there is a medical 24/7 medical facility available in judicial custody. And every prisoner has a right to approach the jail authorities if he is feeling unwell. And there is a doctor in the jail as well. There is a hospital in the jail as well also. So to say that somebody would be poisoning him is prima facie ridiculous.
Ridiculous. That's the term you're using, and of course you're a former UP DGP, you know the procedures very well. I want to go across to Tariq Khan then. Tariq Khan, is it not unfortunate that, every kind of death is turned into some sort of a conspiracy, and I don't think that it is to be missed by anybody that it happens when an Atiq Ahmed's death happened, and surely that was a killing, there are no excuses for that. And now Ansari dies possibly of natural causes, that there is also an element of whipping up certain sentiments, isn't it, on the ground?
A responsibility of the state or responsibility of law and order of the state lies on the shoulder of the government, So the judicial custody death has been increasing since last 2 or 3 or 4 years in Uttar. We, as a responsible opposition, we are just raising the question why somebody is being admitted just day before yesterday in the hospital, having serious problems, and next day he was returned to the jail. What was the reason behind that? did he don't possess any type of means he is not a citizen of India, and if he is in judicial custody, the basic basic responsibility on the government to protect his life, anybody's life.
No, but why
Let
do you
it be
think that
anybody.
his life was not protected? There has to be prima
That-
facie some evidence or some sort of motive to allege. Now, the
A
first
video-
question
a
that
vi-
comes to my mind,
a-
I'll give you an opportunity. One second, just hear me out. Just hear me out. Just hear me out.
Give me 5 seconds.
One second, I'll come to the viral audio. Just hear me out. Just hear me out. My question is, and the question that would naturally be asked, when you allege that police officials may be conspiring to kill, or the government may have had some conspiracy to kill somebody who's already a convicted criminal, somebody who's already on a decline, he's no longer a factor in UP politics, he's in jail, why would they do this? That's the first question that will come to somebody's mind.
Is this a question to me or somebody else?
No, to you only. Is that not a fair question to ask? But why would anybody want to kill Mr. Ansari in judicial
Every question
custody?
asked by any media is fair enough. Means I'm not asking that this question is not fair or that. But one thing arises over here is this: that the audio which is across the spectrum. The audio, in that audio, what Mukhtar Ansari is saying that he is not able to stand since last 10 days. Okay, he is having constipation since last 10 days. Then the audio is there. He is saying to his son that I am not able to even stand. Why is he not admitted to the hospital? Is this a law? If somebody is seriously ill or having serious problems, he should not be admitted to the higher hospital or a higher means medical facilities if he is convicted in a serious case.
Okay. So the question that
in a serious case.
Okay. So the question that follows is that why do you feel that there is a conspiracy here? Why was this so-called injustice done to Mr. Ansari? Why was he not given proper medical, treatment? What is your allegation here? Was it negligence or was it a conspiracy?
I am not saying anything. His family already saying he has submitted a affidavit in the court that slow poison had been given to me since last 10 days. Point number one. Point number two. Family is allegedly saying that he had been given slow poison. If he had a cardiac arrest in 2018, why didn't the jail authority or they asked the family to have an angioplasty?
Okay. Let me take that to Sanjeev Unyal, who's a lawyer. If you were the lawyer of Mr. Ansari or then their family in this case, these would be natural questions that you would ask too. What seems the most suspicious here is the fact that 10 days before his death, the family had raised the stink or the possibility of what is being referred to as slow poisoning. Is this not suspicious circumstances?
First of all, I'll say that I was going through the track record of this person. He was 60 years of age and total pending FIRs against him was in the tune of 65. Although it could not be one of the question right now, which is the topic behind me, because since you are a dead criminal and your terror is like anyone can go and see his track record of last 5 MLAs. He has won this assembly seats in last continuously for 5 times. But what type of terror he was doing in that area, Banda, and police was not able to catch hold of this guy. Why? What was the reason behind it? Anyway, because nobody was catching hold of him in any of the 65 FIRs. But now, administration runs through strictness, Shasanam Dandain. This theory has arisen in the UP. People have seen. Now, UP is altogether a different state. So now, when police is strong, FIRs has been lodged, you have been carry out all evidences, cross-examinations, you are in the jail, and now suddenly 5-6 days back you are saying that somebody is giving me slow poison and you have been taken to a higher hospital, higher facilities, and commission out of that hospital has told clearly, no, it is not a case of slow poison at all. And after 2-3 days you die. So this could not be a reason, and moreover he is under judicial custody. So judicial custody is always taken by the judiciary magistrates and judicial officers continuously. And being a lawyer, you won't believe that if this case would have been given to me on Wakalatnama, so I'll be visiting on fortnightly to this person in the jail. And if that could be one of the possibility, I would have gone an application and taken it to the judicial officer, but it is not a matter. So it is all gimmicks. And somebody was asking Omar, his son, ki from where you have come to know that he has been given a slow poison? So he said from the media. So very surprising. From media he came to know that somebody is giving him slow poison. So which media is talking about is again a big question. So it is all ridiculous. It's total time wastage, and it speaks about our constitutional rights. If you would have been in different countries, Bangladesh, Pakistan, nobody is taken care of these all, but you are giving a program, you are giving a slit, you are giving a platform to speak about that death. So this is our constitutional liberty, constitutional.
But Mr. Unyal, don't you think that there is a problem with the track record of the way things are functioning under the UP government or the police now? And I'll bring in the former DGP, Mr. Singh, in this also, where there are subsequent such deaths or encounters of gangsters. Now, no sympathy for any gangster or any of their crimes and whatever they may have done. But surely, you cannot have an Atiq Ahmed being killed in front of a media, or an Ansari dying 10 days after, his family alleges some foul play. First, Mr. Singh, I'll come to you. Mr. Unyal first, then I'll come to you. Yes, Mr. Singh, Unyal ji, very quickly.
Only for 5.
Yeah.
These type of deadly persons who are in the jail, who are a criminal of having 65 FIRs, it speaks volume about their integrity, their career, their indulgence and their companions in past 5, 6, 10, 15, 20 years. So they all have criminals because they have criminals in their circle. So the gangsters, 2 gang wars happens, and in Tihar jail also you would have seen what happens to 2 gangs. They have killed each other brutally before the jail authorities. So it happened there also. So these are enmities.
No,
during their
only some of those cases are gang wars. The other cases, for example, the Atiq Ahmed case was brazen killing of him and his brother in front of the media, in police presence, and now in judicial custody. You had Vikas Dubey being killed in an encounter. Again, I want to be very clear. I am not making any excuses for them, neither am I raising questions about encounter deaths per se. But if you look at in succession some of these cases happening, particularly to notorious gangsters of a gone by era in UP now, does it not raise suspicion? Mr. Singh, you want to come in on this before I go back to the SP spokesperson?
Well, if you ask me, I will. Now, there is a rule of law, and there is a procedural law also. In every encounter, specifically a police encounter, it is mandatory that a magisterial inquiry has to be done. If any police encounter is done, I am not taking names of any specific encounters, invariably a magisterial inquiry will have to be conducted just to find out about the motive and the circumstances behind it, whether it was a false encounter or a genuine encounter or whatever it is. A magisterial inquiry has to be done. The cases that you are referring to were inquired into higher judicial commissions and inquiry committees constituted by Honorable Supreme Court, etc. They have gone into it. Now, as far as the question of too many encounters taking place, well, it depends upon the policy of the government. If you give shelter to notorious criminals and eulogize them and try to protect them, certainly you will not be taking action against them. And if you wish to take action against certain criminals, mafias, criminals, they will be on the run.
Yeah. Fair enough. And is that the distinction?
Is a natural corollary to that.
No, and it really fundamentally boils down to that, Tariq Khan. Look at what used to happen to the likes of Atiq Ahmed, to the likes of Ansari earlier, including your governments, and look at their fate now. Forget about how Ansari may have died, and as it stands, it's due to a cardiac arrest. Surely an investigation will bring more light. But this is the bottom line.
Avdesh Rai died in 1991. After that, there had been two BJP governments. And that was Kalyan Singh, Rajnath Singh and one another. And governments with Mayawati. You mean to say that they are least efficient compared to Yogi government? If that's the compliment, I am accepting it. Point number one. Fake encounter and judicial custody death has been increasing in India, in Uttar Pradesh. This is a matter of concern. As a responsible opposition, we are raising question. And if the police and the government is there to take this decision who is guilty or not, so what is the need of judicial process? Why it is there, or it should be abolished? You are saying like that. These type of sentiment had been creating in the nation.
No, you very
the spot police will take
Tariq Khan, very nicely and very conveniently you are talking, once again, you very nicely, very conveniently you're talking about rule of law today. What happened to rule of law where the likes of Ansari and Atiq Ahmed used to flourish and their terror used to reign supreme when you were in power? Yes. Surely you are reminded of that track record as well.
But there had been government of BJP as well in that period. If you are including us, you have to include BJP government.
No, you answer for yourself, na? You are talking about rule of law. The very bottom line of this entire case is rule of law.
Akhilesh Yadav ji take oath in 2012. From 2012 to 2017, Mukhtar Ansari was in jail. And in 2019, in Krishna Rai case, Delhi High Court, a Delhi court acquitted him in Krishna Rai case. What you will say that? Then you don't have faith. Now you don't have faith in judicial system.
No, so then it's okay that he's eulogized today. It's okay that he was still given a ticket regardless of 50 odd cases that were filed against him, and you were all innocent. You were unaware of the terror that these dons ran. You know, it was just purely about, okay, this case is going on, that case is going on, this conviction or that conviction. Everything else was nice and innocent, isn't it? Politicians like, political parties like the SP, the BSP, the Congress, who had connections with a lot of these, had BJP will face its own questions. But were they seen in bed with Atiq Ansari and with Atiq Ahmed?
Avdesh Rai allegedly.
I'm not talking about the judicial process here, Tariq Khan. I'm not talking about the judicial process here. What did politicians of the time do?
Let me say something. If you are saying that government has been playing with or has been standing with Mukhtar Ansari or somebody else, as provided he is doing wrong things. Okay, I am accepting it.
You didn't know he was doing wrong things.
I am accepting. You are saying I am accepting it. Okay, then started from 1991. Avdesh Rai was murdered in 1991.
Okay, you've said that. Okay, don't repeat yourself. You've said that. I have limited time. Sanjeev Unyal, 30 seconds, and then I'll give Mr. Singh 30 seconds as well. Mr. Unyal.
Why they are trying for the criminals of having 65 cases against them? And he was never in BSP, he was in BSP first of all. Secondly, they can always move an application to the Allahabad High Court. They can go to Supreme Court of India while saying that it is a poison given to him. Slow poison has been given to him. Why they are not moving an application to the Allahabad High Court? Why they are not going to the Supreme Court of India? But they are saying something for the sake of saying only, because administration is very strict nowadays. Okay. So criminals are running away. They are leaving the state of jurisdiction of UP. That is the only reason.
Mr. Singh, final 30 seconds. There is a problem, and that problem has existed in Uttar Pradesh. Just like there are similar law and order problems that exist in other cases, other states, where it was known as a Gunda Raj state, where mafia used to reign supreme, and you would have seen it from close quarters yourself as the UP DGP. That is the problem here, and that is at the heart of the problem here when we talk about dons like Ansari and Ahmed. The kind of image that they were allowed to create for themselves while cocking a snook in the eyes of the law and the police officials.
I'll just wrap up with one comment. The spokesperson of a particular party was saying that all the political parties had the government there. And, the spokesperson, the political party of this particular honorable spokesperson, in 2005, late Mr. Mulayam Singh Yadav was the chief minister, took away the cases against Mukhtar Ansari at the government level. One deputy SP, Shailendra Singh, was suspended in Varanasi, and one IG, Mr. Manoj Kumar, was transferred only because they tried to take action.
5 cases against them, yes.
So this is the, and now the economic empire, the illegal businesses, all these things are being shattered, closed down. The unfortunate death of Mukhtar Ansari is there, but there have been number of illegal arms licenses that he procured. I mean, you talk of that, it was an interstate gang, 191, running into 8 states.
Right, right.
And
it's not going to be that easy for certain political parties to wash their hands off.
Yes,
how these dreaded criminals and dons
I mean, why would you
flourished.
like to take back cases of such
absolutely. I mean, that history is known to everybody. Frankly, there's no point beating a dead horse, pardon the pun, but there is a thought that some of these criminals and dons have been allowed to create some image. And why just dons and criminals? You've got convicted politicians on corruption who have some Robinesque image, who are called the messiah of an entire public, regardless of the kind of lawlessness that used to prevail under them and at their behest. But I'll leave it that for another day. I do thank all of our guests for joining us. Moving on to the other big story we are tracking, Income Tax Department has served a fresh notice of over 1700 crore rupees to the Congress for discrepancies in tax returns for previous years. This is in addition to the already pending dues, now making the tally well over 1800 crores for the Congress party. The tax penalties along with interest relate to discrepancies in tax returns for years 2017, 2018 to 2020, 2021. This comes a day after Delhi High Court had rejected petitions moved by the Congress party challenging the Income Tax Department order on reassessment. Stung by this notice and authorities attaching crores of rupees last month, the Congress has alleged that Modi government is not only just freezing their bank accounts, a charge that has been denied, but also freezing democracy, and that too in an election season to corner the opposition. Now, hours after the Delhi High Court rejected its pleas against the tax reassessment proceedings by the IT department, the Congress was left stunned by this recovery notice. Let me break down exactly what are the years in question and what are the demands that are being made. So remember, some of these cases date back to 1993-94 and a demand of about 53 or 54 crore rupees has been made in that case. And then there's a whole period between 2016 to 2020 that has been reopened. There are also other cases that are running from 17 to 21. And in all of those cases, there are massive recoveries that have been asked for, demanded for. And one of them is, all of this is totaling to 1823 crores. Now that for any political party is going to be a very, very massive number. No wonder the Congress is of course alleging that there is more than meets the eye as far as this case is concerned. But can the Congress party outrightly blame the centre or political vigilante for their troubles? The party, remember, has not managed to secure any relief in the tax case on multiple occasions. Let me just trace some of the legal history. This is not actually dating back all the way, but some of it. August 6, 2021, the Congress moved CITA seeking stay on recovery of 94 crore rupees. In October 2021, the plea seeking this stay was dismissed and the Congress was asked to deposit 20% of the recovery amount. By January 2023, which is last year, ITAT asked Congress to deposit the total outstanding tax liability. In March 2023, the CITA dismissed the appeal filed by the Congress party yet again. By February this year, which is when the matter came to public light again by the Congress party, February 13, 2024, the CITA attached 65 crore rupees from the Congress's account pending appeal, which is when they raised this hue and cry. By March 8, Income Tax Appellate Tribunal had dismissed their plea seeking a stay. In March, the plea against the reassessment of 2014-15 and 2016-17 were also rejected, and just yesterday, the High Court has rejected Congress's plea against this tax reassessment, and hours after that, this fresh notice was filed to them. Now, of course, the Congress has not just alleged that this is a way to somehow curtail their campaigning, take away all of their funds so that they cannot put up a fight in the upcoming general elections. They have also said that the tax authorities have actually not acted on the violations from the BJP. So, is their witch hunt claim valid or not? We'll take that forward with our guests.
हमें रिलीफ कोर्ट से मिलेगा ही मिलेगा, रोक नहीं सकते हैं और हम इसके बाद में सुप्रीम कोर्ट जाएंगे क्योंकि कानून हमारे साथ है, हमें हर हालत में रिलीफ मिलेगा।
If Congress party has complied with all the regulations, all the acts, nobody will dare to question them.
I want to go across to our guest joining us, Gopal Agarwal, national spokesperson of the BJP with us. I'm also joined by Sharad Kohli, who is an economist, and Meeta Chakrabarti, spokesperson of the Congress party, will be with us as well. I want to first begin by asking Gopalji about the violations that the Congress party has cited of the BJP allegedly that have gone unnoticed. They have cited, for example, from 2017-18, there are donations to the tune of 42 crores which have no addresses. In the year 21-22 and 22-23, there are donations to the tune of 2.5 crores with no name, 1 crore with no addresses, etc. Why is there no action on the BJP? And they feel if you were to be assessed rightly, that recovery should also go into 3,000, 4,000 crore rupees. But no action is being taken against BJP, only against the principal Congress, opposition party like the Congress. Your response to that?
Shivani ji, I am a chartered accountant also, and I know income tax by heart. And I would tell you very clearly, Sharad Kohli ji is also chartered accountant. He may add on anything. The thing is, why there is a demand on Congress? That basic understanding has to be come through to all your viewers. One thing is, the Election Commission says that the exemption to the political party is based on certain conditions, that they cannot receive cash donations above 2,000 rupees. And the issue with Congress is that the 14.4 lakh amount that they have received, on which basis the notice, their exemption has been withdrawn, is because they have taken it in cash more than 2,000 rupees for individual. As far as BJP is concerned, there is no cash donations. BJP has given all the information and relevant information to the income tax department about that. There can be a gap. And the second thing is that it is because that they have taken donations about 2,000 in cash. Therefore, 13(1) of the income tax says that their exemption, if you violate the basic condition given by the Election Commission, you lose your exemption, income tax exemption, and therefore because of this receiving of cash about 2,000, they have lost the basic exemption allowed to the political parties about their income, and therefore their all income has become taxable. But then the second is all other points are also relevant. When income tax authorities gave notice to them about this violation and their exemption under 13A getting cancelled, they did not respond. Income tax department gave several. I am telling you what is there in the public domain, and I am also telling what Ajay Makan has clearly and intelligently tried to hide from the public. The income tax department had given them several notices to comply and give the information why this violation should not lead to their cancellation of exemption under income tax as a political party.
One second, can I go one by one?
Listen, let me finish, then you can only small 2 points. Then they again, when the notices came to the Congress party, several notices, they did not respond, and then when the finally this assessment was finally put on place to the Congress party, they went into the appeal. The appeal also was rejected because they did not comply to the notices.
I get that. We're running that history. Let me take that to Meeta Chakrabarti. The courts have also remarked that why are you coming to us now when it was your own lackadaisical attitude? You didn't respond to the IT notices in the past. Maybe you thought you could get away with it. Now it's coming back to haunt you. And if it has increased by
the basic law of not.
One second, let us respond. And if by now the recovery has gone into other years as well, even the reopening of the assessment for years 17 to 21, yeah, one second, that challenge has not been met or been accepted by courts. Then why are you playing the political victim card here, Meeta Chakrabarti? Is it not Congress's own doing if you couldn't handle your tax matters? What does this have to do with democracy?
Good evening to all your viewers and good evening to my fellow co-panelists as well. First of all, the fact that income tax, ED and CBI are used by BJP to run the country, to run an extortion racket, to get money in electoral of CBI, ED, income tax are directed against the opposition leaders. The conviction rate of CBI and ED is dismally low, which means that it is created to harass people, to create a media perception, but actual conviction does not follow through.
Ma'am, can we talk about this case? Let's talk about the IT case particularly, because IT and CBI, ED are very different bodies and the nature of the crimes or offences are very different. So let's talk about the income tax issue.
So the three departments are being tried, and it's a given fact that when we look at the electoral bond data, we see that there are 4 kinds of scams that has been going on: prepaid bribery, post-paid bribery, and post-raid bribery or extortion, or fuzzy or shell companies, through which BJP has been making money through corruption. I will just like to point out, and this is very relevant to the income tax department, that what we call as hafta vasuli or extortion, there are about 41 corporate groups which faced a total of 56 ED, CBI or income tax
Ma'am, you're still talking about CBI, ED and electoral bonds. No, I'm sorry. I don't understand the connection of how any of that gives Congress party a pass on tax.
Coming back to Congress. Coming back to Congress. We have been filing our tax returns at the right time. If there had been any late filing, first of all, the penalty that has been rolled out is disproportionate. Secondly, it is obviously the judiciary has to take the final call. We have approached the court. We are seeking a relief. But the fact is that 2 months before the general election, the highest election in the so-called largest democracy of the world, the largest opposition, the principal opposition party, has been put in a position where they are unable to access their own funds.
Yes, but whose fault is that? One second. You're on the disproportionate, one by one, please, one by one. On the disproportionate charge, I will go across to our tax expert and economist.
Unable to access it. Even if you are given some relief by the court in the next few months, we would have lost the opportunity because just 1 month, a few weeks before the election, we are unable to access our funds which are required to run done a proper campaign. Is BJP so scared of the principal opposition party and of the India Alliance that they have to go to this level, they have to stoop down to this level to harass and target the opposition leaders? It's clear like day and night.
Put on you.
All these three departments, and mark my words, it's just not income tax, but ED, CBI and income tax are being used by BJP as their frontal cells to target opposition and to kill democracy in the so-called largest democracy of the world.
This is white goose chase that the Congress want to enter into. It's a clear-cut income tax rule.
We are getting notices from 1994 when Sitaram Kesari was the treasurer.
The 94 case has been going on for some time as well. No, one second. It's important to put it into context. Some of these cases, like the 93-94 case that you're talking about, has been going on for quite some time. It's been litigated upon, so it's not suddenly come up. Some of the reassessment has started. Can you please lower the faders? Some of the reassessment has started for years 2017-21 now. The Delhi High Court rejected the Congress's plea, and I'm coming to that reassessment which has been opened now. That they observed the IT department had submitted substantial and concrete evidence that warranted further scrutiny and examination. Now, the court is saying the IT department is correct in doing so because the IT department alleged they found some serious lapses and some concrete evidences of some ghapla going on. So, I want to go across to the economist on the panel, Mr. Sharad as well. The charge that the Congress makes though is that on a original sum of 14 lakh rupees, today they are ending up paying 135 crore rupees. That it is disproportionate. How would you assess that?
I think, Shivani, if you tend to hide the law, if you don't want to interpret the law, I mean, nobody has got a solution to that. Let me just be very clearly, I think the CNN News 18 viewers will understand what is Section 13A. Now, I won't go too technical to make it boring for the viewers. Section 13A simply says, Shivani, that if you fulfill 6 conditions, a political party will get exemption for all the contributions. From if it's coming from house property, you're getting it from income from other sources, if there's a capital gain or there is a political contribution, you will get exempt. But 6 conditions have to be fulfilled. Please allow me to list out those 6 conditions, because in this menu of 6 conditions, the entire 4-5 years which have been assessed, they lie there. The first condition is you should file your income tax return on time. Now, for the year 17-18, Congress did not file. The last date was 31st October 2018. They did not file on time. They were sent a notice, okay, we allow you, please file by 31st December. They didn't do that. They filed in February. So that gives Income Tax Department a right to disallow the exemption which you enjoy, which a political party enjoys for that matter. Second is you have to maintain your books of account. Third is you have to get an audit done by a chartered accountant. Fourth is you cannot receive cash in excess of rupees 2,000. Fifth is maintain records of all donations coming over rupees 20,000. And last is that give record to the Election Commission of all the 20,000 rupees exceeding donations which you've received. Now, if you violate any one of the 6 conditions, you have to be held guilty. So there is no question of, a law.
What about the disproportionality? That the amount of sum being taken from their accounts today is just too large.
I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that, Shivani. Now, if only 14 lakh rupees of violation of cash was there, the second violation was they did not file the return on time as well. And Income Tax Department had got a right. It's very clearly mentioned in Section 13 that the exemption would be withdrawn. Exemption would be withdrawn. So it is simple withdrawal of the exemption because they did not fulfill the conditions.
Okay, one by one.
Income is taxable.
One by one. Yes, Gopalji, I'll give you 30 seconds, but please one by one.
If you violate any of the conditions, 6 conditions which Sharadji mentioned, the exemption to the political parties go away.
Yes, everything comes under the tax ambit. I get that.
Only 14.5 lakh.
I get that, but I'm just trying to play the devil's advocate here. If the political party here, is being deliberately trampled upon. Meetaji, I'm coming back to you. I'll give you a minute. Now, the tax authority has also claimed, and which is why some reassessment has been opened on you, that they did searches on entities, including a few allegedly linked to Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shiv in Congress were revealed. The IT department has cited this as a violation to enable tax exemptions available to political parties, which is why certain years have come back to haunt you. Now, where is the witch hunt here? Just because it happened to happen in election time and you are also waking up now, does not mean that there was not a history to all of this.
Okay, I hope I'll be given some uninterrupted
Yes,
time
1 minute to you. Yes.
Yeah. So, firstly, we were not even intimidated and we came to know from outside that our checks are not being honored. So, when the bank accounts, yes, there were notices before, but when the bank accounts got frozen and we were unable to access our funds, there was no notification sent, no intimate. We came to know from external sources that our checks are not getting honored. Secondly, when you're talking about violation of Article 13A, it is evident that now a 14 lakh penalty has become 135 crore. Go to any common guy on the road and ask him that is this not disproportionate? Go to any common man on the road and find out if the accounts are being frozen 1 month before the election of the principal of the largest opposition party. Is it really a celebration of democracy?
Okay, I've run out of time. But on the disproportionality question, it is not about what the common person who doesn't understand IT laws, I'm sorry, but that's not how it is going to be. That's a political argument. Tax experts agree that the tax department have not done anything wrong. I just want to bring back Sharad 1 second for 15 seconds. On the freezing of account, the government has said that they have not frozen any accounts. This is a procedure that they have followed as goes when they make recoveries very quickly. Is it legal to even hold on to certain amount in your accounts because Congress claims this is wrong?
Yes, because this is recovered as land revenue. Income tax department has got a right to first freeze your account, then take out the amount, and then the account is free to be used. And my learned Congress spokesperson said that we came to know from outside. Well, obviously the bankers informed the Congress party that your account has been frozen. Income tax, there is nothing in violation of law as far as taking out the money by the income tax department is concerned, Shivani.
Okay, so I have to leave it at that. Then it becomes more a political slugfest because legally it seems the courts are not really siding with what the Congress party is saying so far. But I do thank all of our guests for joining us, and of course we will follow this story very, very closely. Time for a very short break. On the other side, we're getting you a special conversation.
Mafia Don Mukhtar Ansari passed away, and as per the information available, he has suffered a cardiac arrest and had been admitted to Banda Medical College in high security of UP police, where 9 doctors team declared him dead on Thursday evening. Mukhtar Ansari's family cries foul play in Don's death. Don's brother and sons have made allegations that he was being given slow poison in food inside prison. Even before his death, family has alleged before courts about the conspiracy to kill Mukhtar Ansari. Since his death, even politics is being played around his death. Leaders likes of Tejasvi Yadav, Asaduddin Owaisi and Ram Gopal Yadav have raised concerns related to the mysterious death of Mafia Don inside prison. Autopsy of Mukhtar Ansari would be done by panel of 5 doctors in Banda. Family members have been allowed to be present in hospital at the time of autopsy. Administration has planned to videograph the entire autopsy. Sources in UP government tell us that given allegations that are being leveled by family of conspiracy behind the gangster's death, UP government is likely to set up a judicial inquiry to look into the allegations. In 1 week, this was the second time that he was admitted to the hospital. Before this, Mafia Don Mukhtar Ansari was admitted to the ICU at a hospital in Uttar Pradesh district early Tuesday with a complaint to abdominal pain. His brother and Ghazipur MP Afzal Ansari alleged that he was given poison in jail. An official statement of the prison department on Tuesday, when Ansari was admitted for the first time, says, and I quote, "Due to the sudden deterioration in the health of prisoner Mukhtar Ansari and falling in the toilet in the night, he was immediately given treatment by the jail doctors," unquote. Mukhtar Ansari, who is 60 years old, is a 5-time former MLA from Mau Sadar seat and has been behind the bars in UP and Punjab since 2005. He has over 60 criminal cases pending against him. He has been sentenced in 8 cases since September 2022 by different courts of UP and was lodged in the Banda jail. His name tops the list of 66 gangsters released by Uttar Pradesh police. His family members have been raising apprehensions that Mukhtar Ansari could be killed in a fake encounter. During court's hearing, also his advocate have been saying that cops are giving him slow poison in jail, due to which his health is deteriorating. His son and relatives make allegation on government that government does not allow them to meet him. Mafia Don Mukhtar Ansari passed away, and as per the information available, he has suffered a cardiac arrest and had been admitted to Banda Medical College in high security of UP police, where 9 doctors team declared him dead on Thursday evening. Mukhtar Ansari's family cries foul play in Don's death. Don's brother and sons have made allegations that he was being given slow poison in food inside prison. Even before his death, family has alleged before courts about the conspiracy to kill Mukhtar Ansari. Since his death, even politics is being played around his death. Leaders likes of Tejasvi Yadav, Asaduddin Owaisi and Ram Gopal Yadav have raised concerns related to the mysterious death of Mafia Don inside prison. Autopsy of Mukhtar Ansari would be done by panel of 5 doctors in Banda. Family members have been allowed to be present in hospital at the time of autopsy. Administration has planned to videograph the entire autopsy. Sources in UP government tell us that given allegations that are being leveled by family of conspiracy behind the gangster's death, UP government is likely to set up a judicial inquiry to look into the allegations. In one week, this was the second time that he was admitted to the hospital. Before this, Mafia Don Mukhtar Ansari was admitted to the ICU at a hospital in Uttar Pradesh district early Tuesday with a complaint to abdominal pain. His brother and Ghazipur MP Afzal Ansari alleged that he was given poison in jail. An official statement of the prison department on Tuesday, when Ansari was admitted for the first time, says, and I quote, "Due to the sudden deterioration in the health of prisoner Mukhtar Ansari and falling in the toilet in the night, he was immediately given treatment by the jail doctors," unquote. Mukhtar Ansari, who is 60 years old, is a 5-time former MLA from Mau Sadar seat and has been behind the bars in UP and Punjab since 2005. He has over 60 criminal cases pending against him. He has been sentenced in 8 cases since September 2022 by different courts of UP and was lodged in the Banda jail. His name tops the list of 66 gangsters.
I'd love to hear your view on how India sees AI.
अगर हम AI को एक मैजिक के टूल के रूप में उपयोग करेंगे तो शायद बहुत बड़ा अन्याय हो जाएगा। यहाँ AI का उपयोग अपने आलसीपन को बचाने के लिए मैं करता हूँ कि भाई मुझे किसी को चिट्ठी लिखनी है, मैं ड्राफ्ट नहीं करूँगा, मैं ChatGPT को कह दूंगा कि मेरी चिट्ठी ड्राफ्ट करके दे दो, तो ये गलत रास्ता है। मुझे तो ChatGPT के साथ कंपटीशन करना चाहिए, मैंने उसके साथ लड़ाई लड़नी चाहिए कि नहीं तुम ठीक नहीं कर रहे हो, तुम ये शब्द की जगह ये क्यों नहीं लाए, तो मैं AI से आगे जाने की कोशिश करूं। अब जैसे हमारे यहाँ बहुत सारी लैंग्वेजेस हैं, बहुत सारी बोलियां हैं, मैं AI को कहता हूं अब इन बोलियों को पकड़िए। मेरे एस्ट्रोनॉट्स को इंट्रोडक्शन के लिए गया था, तो हमारे एस्ट्रोनॉट्स किस प्रकार से काम करने वाले थे, तो रोबोट से मैं बात कर रहा था। मैंने रोबोट से काफ़ी बातें की और मैंने देखा कि मैं अलग अलग टोन में बोलता था, थोड़ा लहजा बदल के बोलता था, और मैं देख रहा था कि वो मुझे प्रॉपर रिस्पॉन्ड कर रहा था। फिर मैंने उसका नाम बदल करके पूछने की कोशिश की, तो फिर उसने रिस्पॉन्ड नहीं किया। तो मैंने कहा आपका AI, मैंने 3 मिनट 4 मिनट बात किया, अभी तक वो मेरी आवाज़ को रिकॉग्नाइज नहीं कर पाया। जब तक मैं उसका नाम नहीं बोलता हूँ वो मुझे रिस्पॉन्ड नहीं कर रहा। मैं वो चाहता हूँ कि मेरे आवाज़ को सेंस करे, और भले ही मैं उसका नाम न बोलूँ लेकिन वो मेरे से बात करे। तो उन्होंने कहा ठीक है, विल डू दिस। तो मैं हर बार नई चैलेंज देता रहता हूँ.
Yeah, it's early days in AI, and I think everyone who uses it, in the same day, you're surprised at how good it is, and you're also surprised at how bad it is. It'll do things you think are hard, and then it'll fail to do some things you think are easy.
Viewers, at the very outset, pardon the lack of objectivity, but it speaks volumes about the moral bankruptcy of some if a murderous, entitled, convicted gangster politician's death has become a rallying point for their politics. Within hours of news breaking that Mukhtar Ansari had died of a cardiac arrest, opposition parties in Uttar Pradesh were falling over each other to pay credence to an unsubstantiated claim that Ansari was assassinated by the Yogi government. The opposition could have at least paused to notice that the wild claim was being made by the gangster's family, who are career criminals too. Wasn't the clear conflict of interest apparent to the opposition? Or did political expediency demand? And remember, viewers, Ansari has immense political clout over the Muslim vote, not just in Banda but across Uttar Pradesh. Was it this, that the opposition should be seen to be siding with this A-grade thug? Expediency, of course, may be only one reason. Loyalty could be the other. It's no secret that Ansari has enjoyed political patronage, which ensured that even though the first criminal case, now pay attention, the first criminal case was registered against him at the age of 17. The first murder case was registered against